Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Bert the Stormtrooper and this is the home of That's Just Prime, the comprehensive Optimus Prime review series. I also review other Transformers, lots of G1 stuff, as well as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, GoBots, and pretty much any other toy that may jump out at me. I also do the occasional arcade and pinball machine videos, unboxings, blogs, challenges, and miscellaneous videos where my daughter usually makes fun of me. Those are a lot of fun. If you're new to the channel, thanks for checking me out. Please be sure to click that subscribe button and don't forget to give me a thumbs up and share if you like what you see. Hello and welcome, I'm Bert the Stormtrooper, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy, Earthrise ARCEE, and I haven't opened it yet, so I don't know if I love her yet, but I'm sure that I will. We're going to find out at the end of this video. Released in the fall of 2020, she is starting to hit stores right now as of the time of this recording. She is a deluxe class figure, so she retails for approximately $19.99. And you can see once again the Earthrise packaging. We've got the box window showing us the figure in robot form. Along the side here, we've got some artwork of ARCEE in both her vehicle and her robot mode. On the other side, we've got that artwork for Earthrise, and along the back, we've got product shots of ARCEE and again, both vehicle and robot mode. And she's got that clear handgun right there that's really interesting. It's kind of like a see-through or almost holographic looking handgun. I don't know what that's about, but I'm curious to check it out. So let's get her out of the package and check her out. And here we have ARCEE out of the package and in robot mode. And I usually like to start my reviews from vehicle mode and work my way up to robot mode. But I decided to do it the other way around with this figure, and you'll see why in just a moment. But first, she does come with her set of instructions, which are honestly not that great. For the, Earthrise has been really good about giving us some really good, nicely detailed and illustrated instructions. And there's some critical stuff about her that was not included with these. So kind of disappointed with the instructions here. And then she also came with her weapon, which is this little, kind of like this little handgun deal here. See if I can get that focused in. Yeah, it's kind of like this handgun, and it's done in this clear, weird, clear, translucent plastic. And then finally, we've got her insert with her decoder, and we've got, again, two planets on this map piece. So we've got Dominus right there, and then we've got Junkion right next to that. So getting into the figure herself, ARCEE in robot mode actually looks really nice, and I would say this is probably her strongest mode for this figure. She actually looks really G1, which some of you may be getting tired of hearing me say that, but that's kind of the cool thing about this Earthrise is that, again, we're getting that really awesome modern update look to what the G1 figures were, and this figure looks amazing. So here in robot mode, she stands approximately 5 inches tall, and that's both for the head and the backpack. It's all the same. Sometimes, depending on the angle, it might look like the backpack is sitting up taller, but it's not. It's about 5 inches up at the top there. And again, she looks really nice. And right now, we've got the entire backpack on there. We're going to look at that in just a moment. But going all the way around, yeah, she looks really, really nice. And we'll get in close, see if we can get a good look at the head. Again, really just nice, almost screen accurate to G1 version of ARCEE there. She looks really nice all the way around. As far as articulation goes, the head goes side to side. I have heard said that this figure's head is on a ball joint, but there is like no up and down on this. If there is any up and down, it kind of feels almost like I'm bending the peg rather than really moving the head. So I don't know about that. I think it's just side to side. Shoulders can go forward and backward, in and out, all the way around. We've got a rotation at the bicep, bend at the elbow. No rotation at the wrist, but we can kind of incline them in and out like that. As you saw, we do have a rotation at the waist. The hips can go forwards, backwards, about that far, in and out. We do have a rotation. We have a rotation at the hip, and we also have a rotation at the thigh. My copy, the rotation of the thigh is very, very tight, which kind of messes with the transformation. We have a double joint at the knee, and the ankles can go forward and backward. Oh yeah, they do have ankle tilt. I didn't realize that until just now. So she does have an ankle tilt. So that's pretty cool. She does come with her little handgun. Now this is the first thing that the instructions were not clear on. The handgun has a little tab right there on the side, so if you don't wish to have her holding her gun, there's a slot right on her back there that you can tab the gun into.
for weapon storage for robot mode. So there's that. The instructions did not point that out. So there's one thing right there. So there you go. Now, this big, gigantic backpack, let's talk about it. So let's go ahead and remove the gun. And this backpack, the back half of the car becomes kind of like this, I don't know, like this battle sled of sorts, okay? So you've got this piece right here that you can push in on the top. It's spring-loaded, if barely, but it's a little bit spring-loaded. But you can see right there as I push that, it's got this little lever here that's going to open up. And this white piece here is going to detach or come free. So you can actually unpeg the back of the backpack. It's got two tabs right there that go into these slots here on the front of the car. You can push in on this piece, and then you can slide the whole thing out just like that. Now, yeah, you can call this a parts former, I suppose. We'll give her gun. But this makes for a much cleaner look for RC, and again, more screen accurate. So she looks really, really nice now. Again, I think this is the strongest mode or display version for her. When you've got her like this up on the shelf, she looks really, really nice. And going all the way around, again, you can see now we have a much smaller backpack, a lot sleeker looking, really, really nice. So that looks fantastic. Setting her off to the side for just a little bit, we'll bring in the back half of the car. And what you're going to do here is just pull this out, turn it around, and straighten out the little cockpit piece there. We can take the wheels and we're going to bring them up and out all the way. Take these pieces and fold them out for no real particular reason, only that the instructions say so. And that is supposed to be kind of like her little hover sled or battle sled, whatever you want to call it. There are two pegs, one on here and one on here, and you can take her and peg her feet right onto these. And this is shown in the back of the packaging. It's also shown in the instructions. And my thighs are really super tight. You kind of want to do one facing forward and one facing sideways. And there you go. So there's RC on her little battle sled. And I guess that's cool enough if you absolutely have to have something to do with the back of the car here. So you got three things you can do. You can leave it off to the side, you can use it as a battle sled, or you can fold it up and put it up on the figures back there. Now to do a couple of comparisons, here is RC next to Earthrise Smokescreen, so you can see what these guys look like together. Not much of a difference, but here she is with BLUESTREAK. You can see what they look like together. Here she is next to SIDESWIPE. You can see what these guys look like together. And then finally, let's bring in the ALLICON, since I have them here on my shelf or on my review table. So you can see what these guys look like together. So now let's get into transformation. And this is why I decided to do this kind of backwards for me. The instructions, not very clear on the transformation. There are some parts of it that were not very clear on. And also the weapon storage, they were not clear on. And when I say transformation, I do kind of use the term loosely. This figure is the epitome of the shell former. In terms of actual transformation, the figure itself doesn't do a lot. Very, very little transformation. Really, it's the shell that we're going to transform, and then she's just going to kind of hide under it. So we're going to take this and we're going to reconnect it by pulling up on this. And we're going to just go ahead and reconnect it to the back of the figure here, just like so. Push on this so that it'll allow for the hook to go through, and it is a little fidgety, and things are just not gonna fit right. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it like that, since we are gonna open all of this up later. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it like that. We're gonna take the top part of the backpack here, it is on a double hinge, and just go ahead and put up and over. Take the head, turn it around. Take the reach under here, grab these wheels. They are kind of fidgety to get to, but we're gonna take the front wheels of the vehicle and just kind of bring them out. Again, very, very fidgety, and this is why I felt that I needed to do it this way, because you kind of have to watch someone else transform her into vehicle mode because she's very fidgety. Front of the vehicle right there, reach in here and pull that out. That's gonna clip into place there and there. Okay, so we got the front of the car is ready. The back of the car is mostly ready. We're gonna take her here at the legs and we're gonna turn them around at the thighs. And then we're gonna take the feet and we're just going to point them forward. That's about it for the transformation on the figure. The only thing left to do is going to be to bring these up later at the very end, and we'll look at that in a moment. Now, on the back of the figure, there is a big hole on the small of her back. That is for this peg right here, because this is going to come down. So that peg needs to go into that hole there. And there is, remember that slot where we had the weapon earlier? There's a tab on the back of the vehicle here that needs to go into this slot right here. So go ahead and open these up, and then we're going to bring the wheels down. And these little side panels are supposed to peg in. There's a little hole right there and a little tab right there that they're supposed to go into. And, you know, they kind of do, I guess. But then you can bring this down, and then you're going to bring the peg down and get the entire, basically the entire car put together right here, right behind her. Bring the figure, or rather the top of the car on that double hinge, we're going to bring it back down again. The only reason we move that up is so that we could bring out the wheels in the front of the car. So you can go ahead, actually we're going to bring it down like that, my mistake. That is going to allow us to then bring the rest of the car down with that peg or that post going into the small of her back again. And you're going to be doing a lot of massaging on this figure to get all the panels lined up correctly. So at this point, what I did right there is that tab, I put that tab onto her butt, and then the post went into the small of her back. That's about it as far as the figure actually attaching to the car mode. You're going to take the arms, and the arms are just going to tuck in under all the, I guess we're going to call it kibble. All right, here's where things really get interesting. We're going to bring the legs up, and there's really nowhere for the legs to go. We're going to turn them at an angle, and all we're going to do really is line up these notches on her knees with these little tabs here, but nothing is really going to tab into anything else securely. And we're just kind of looking for the best angle to keep these little ankle braces off the ground so that she can roll, and that's going to be near impossible to do. So we're going to, again, turn her at the thigh, and we're just going to look for that angle. And hope she rolls. And again, you're going to be doing a lot of massaging, because as you're doing this, tabs are going to be coming off, hooks are going to be coming off. See, like that right there, I've got that little hook right there on the back half of the car. Is supposed to hook to the front half of the car. It does not hold, and both of those hooks are tiny and thin, and both of mine have stress marks already, so not good. That, I think, is going to be as good as we're going to get for now. Finally, one more thing that was not mentioned in the instructions, the weapon. There's a little slot right there on the front of the vehicle. You can put the weapon right there. It is going to show around the bottom of the front of the vehicle there. It's not horrible, terrible, but you know, it's a thing. That's where it's going to go, basically. And there is RC in vehicle mode. Here in vehicle mode, RC is approximately 4.5 inches long, and I like the design. Again, going back to G1, she looks very G1. The details, the paint details are a little lacking, like the gray or white panels on the side here. Those are kind of missing. The overall design looks good. It's a really nice design, but the execution is not great. It's extremely difficult to get the legs lined up properly so that these wheels will actually roll freely. So I have yet to get her to really kind of roll freely. She always feels like she's dragging on my surface here. And you can probably see the biggest problem is all these panels that just don't line up. Nothing seems to peg or tab into place the way that it should. These little clips here right now, they're kind of behaving, which I'm surprised about. They're kind of behaving for the video, but usually I have the hardest time getting these little hooks to stay in place. So normally these two panels here are separated for me. They just pop off, and there's just a big gap right there. Overall, she's very gappy. Big gaps on the fenders here. That's because, and this is happening on a lot of people's copies, there's those two pegs right there that this white support piece is supposed to go into. They don't go in all the way, and if they do, they still find a way to shimmy their way back out again. And it just kind of misaligns the entire vehicle. Then over here, because she's got those little spring piece here that you're supposed to press to separate the two halves of the car, you can see how much gappiness and just panels are being made here. It's just not a solid cohesive vehicle mode, doesn't roll well. So it's very unsatisfying. Looks great in terms of the design, but the execution was just not that well done. For comparison, here she is next to Smokescreen, so you can see what these guys look like together and how they size up together. And then finally, here she is with Sideswipe, so you can see what these guys look like together in terms of size. So, you know, again, she sizes well, and generally speaking, the design is very G1 and looks good, but a little too panely for my taste. And you know, I can roll these guys. I can't roll her. She's just scraping across my surface here, which is really not great. So my final verdict for RC. Well, my first impressions of this figure were not good. The transformation was way too fiddly. Well, if you want to even call it a transformation, was just way too fiddly. Not clear in the instructions, and the pieces just kept popping off. Nothing was lining up right, and then the vehicle wouldn't roll, and overall just not fun. Those were my first impressions. Now, I've waited a couple of days to shoot this review. I've been playing with her. I've, you know, kind of really learned her intricacies and, you know, watched a couple of videos, see what people are doing with her, and just kind of learned the ins and outs of the figure. And I've gotten to a point where I can really, as you saw, get the vehicle in a more solid, that's kind of like the more solid mode that you're going to get it into. So, you know, I kind of got it into a passable mode. And once I learned all of that and I just kind of got used to the figure, I warmed up to her. I warmed up to her because I really do like her design. I like the way that the vehicle design looks. Again, the execution is not great, but I do like the design of the vehicle. And I absolutely love the way she looks in robot mode. You can see here, she looks fantastic along with the rest of the team here. She looks really, really nice. Are we ever going to get a good G1 version of RC? I don't know. I really don't know if her design lends itself well to a good functional transforming toy. I just don't know if that can be done the way they designed her animation. So I think this might be the best we're going to get. And again, she's a good looking figure. She's going to look great alongside the rest of the team up on my shelf. And I think that about covers the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy, Earthrise ARCEE. What did you think of this figure? Let me know down in the comments below. Give me some thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you're notified when I upload a new video. I've got that donate button up there. If you want to hit on that, I certainly would appreciate it. Share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time.